3 nuclear meltdowns occurred at Japan's Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant in March of 2011 after a massive 9.0 Richter scale underwater earthquake, the most powerful ever recorded in Japan, led to a massive tsunami which flooded the plant's diesel emergency power generators, meaning the reactors could no longer be kept adequately cool. The Fukushima nuclear disaster was ultimately ranked the highest level on the international nuclear event scale, sharing that dubious honour with only one other nuclear disaster, that being Chernobyl. Last Thursday, 12 years after the initial meltdowns, and despite constant protest from the Chinese government, Japan began releasing nuclear-contaminated wastewater into the Pacific Ocean near the stricken plant. This led to China, Japan's largest importer of seafood and other products, making up nearly half of all sales last year, banning all imports of marine products from Japan. China's General Administration of Customs took the emergency measures to prevent the risk of radioactive pollution and ultimately to protect Chinese consumers. But Japan's media has kicked into overdrive in an attempt to dispel the idea that releasing nuclear-contaminated water into the Pacific Ocean could in any way cause harm. They've done that by deceptively attempting to focus the public's attention on a radioactive isotope called tritium. That move first appeared in the Yomiuri Shimbun on June 23 with the headline, "Chinese nuclear plants releasing water containing tritium at levels 6.5 times higher than planned Fukushima discharge." But the problem with that is this is a deliberate attempt to whitewash the issue. Tritium is released from every single nuclear power plant in the world, with levels in Europe much, much higher than even China's. According to the Japan Times, 143 trillion becquerels of tritium was measured annually in water near China's Xinjiang Phase 3 plant, while nearly 3 times that was found in the UK, and nearly 10 times that was measured in France. Tritium is not at all the main issue China and others have with the release of nuclear-contaminated water at Fukushima. Firstly, we need to make one extremely important distinction. Nuclear power plants around the world release water that has relatively safely cooled nuclear reactors under normal conditions. Fukushima suffered 3 nuclear meltdowns, the worst level of nuclear disaster currently measured by man, and is releasing water that is nuclear contaminated, that has interacted with the damaged core and become radioactive. According to Greenpeace Japan, scientists have warned that the radiological risks from the discharges have not been fully assessed, and the biological impacts of tritium, carbon-14, strontium-90 and iodine-129, which will be released in the discharges, have been ignored. And therein lies the problem, folks. Japan's government and TEPCO, the Tokyo Electric Power Company who own the plant, are trying to make the public believe that the only problem is tritium, while blatantly ignoring the real risks of releasing carbon-14, strontium-90 and iodine-129 and other radionuclides into the Pacific Ocean.
It's the harvesting season, but no, we're not talking about harvesting pumpkins, corn, apples, or any land-grown crops, but rather some land-grown seafood. Yes, you heard that right. If you're one of those who think, oh, Japan is dumping nuclear-contaminated water, and I'm no longer having any seafood, that kind of person, here I present you with a perfect solution. Hello and welcome to this mouth-watering episode of Tech Please. Northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, the furthest point from any coastline, is harvesting something unusual for the typical impression of a landlocked region: seafood. Shrimps and crabs are too ordinary to mention. When visiting Xinjiang, indulge yourself in some seafood a la carte. From salmon, tilapia, and grouper to abalone and lobster, you name it. So how is seafood cultivated in a place with extremely dry climate? If you're looking for the tech behind this industry, there is actually more science involved. And I'm talking about natural science. Xinjiang is a place that consists of multiple rivers, lakes, reservoirs, and natural ponds. The best part? the melting snow from the Tianshan Mountains. This is where local salmons are swimming. I mean, wow, look at that crystal clear sapphire-like water. Well, of course, technology is at the core for making things happen. Apart from the high purity of the Tianshan water, the fish eggs are grown in an artificial breeding environment after being introduced from overseas. These environmentally friendly breeding cages can withstand strong winds and waves while preventing feed and feces from being discharged directly into the water, which may pose a threat to the local ecosystem. And underwater robots with sonar imaging systems and optical cameras are also deployed to clean the cages. Another way of doing inland aquafarming is adapting baby crayfish or shrimp to a freshwater environment. The practice of inland aquafarming is bringing steady, quality sea products to consumers and growing economic value for local farmers. In 2022, the total output value of Xinjiang's fishery industry reached 4.2 billion yuan, an increase of 921 million yuan compared with 2019. I'm about to enjoy some inland bred seafood. Bye for now, and do stay tuned for more tech, please.